Well, the debate over admissions testing at the University of California is on hold. UC officials abruptly suspended plans to reconsider SAT and ACT admission requirements. Thousands of professors, mostly those in math and science, have been pushing to reinstate the tests, warning that grade inflation and artificial intelligence have made high school grades and essays unreliable. The UC Academic Senate chair said in a statement the Academic Senate is not rescinding its commitment to a comprehensive review of standardized testing and admissions. Recognizing the significance of this issue, the Academic Senate is revising its timeline, ensuring the forthcoming review is thorough, evidence-based, and informed by faculty expertise. So joining me now is UC Berkeley Professor of School Psychology, Frank Worrell. And Professor Worrell is joining us this morning. He was part of the group that was set to study if the Smarter Balance Assessment, which is already given to high school students, could just replace the SAT and ACT and UC college admissions. So, Professor, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Yes, so there's a lot to follow with this story, but let's start with yesterday's decision for them to say that they are going to put off studying this for now. What did you make of that decision?
It was surprising. I think there has been a lot of pressure for them to study this and to move forward, in fact, with alacrity. So I think it's surprising to see them delay it further.
Absolutely. Let's help people understand who weren't closely following this story how we got here. That in 2020, the regents voted to end testing requirements, and correct me here if I'm messing any of this up. And then a couple of months ago, you had faculty complaining that a lot of the STEM students were not prepared for their classes, and so you should reconsider some kind of standardized testing. Is that the heart of the issue here?
That's the heart of the issue, and it was not just STEM faculty they started, but then faculty members in the humanities and social sciences. I think over 600 of them also signed a letter indicating that students were not prepared.
Absolutely. Okay, so we understand that portion, but then you have critics who say standardized tests are not fair for every student, and so that would not be fair either. So how do you find balance there?
Right, and I think it has to do with a misunderstanding in the general public. We know that we live in a society that has served different populations unequally. So there's inequality in society, and these inequalities are reflected in every measure of achievement we give. The SAT has differences in means, but so does high school GPA, so does the Smarter Balance test. Every measure of achievement that we have shows the same pattern. So getting rid of one doesn't help. They actually have different strengths, and by putting them all together in holistic review, we get the best determination of what a student's capability is. Because just as high school GPA has its weaknesses, SAT has, and so they sort of compensate for each other. And that's why, in fact, using all of them together makes sense.
Absolutely. That makes sense. If the UC board had taken the next steps with this plan, you were set to study whether standardized testing scores administered in the 11th grade could replace the SAT or ACT requirement. Now, you were just saying you kind of seem that each of these things measures something different. So how would you feel about moving forward with studying that?
Right. So we actually did do that study shortly after they removed the SAT and ACT. They actually, due to complaints, they decided to look at Smarter Balanced. The committee that I was on decided it did not make sense to replace SAT, ACT with Smarter Balanced for several reasons.
Okay.
One was that the scores were not high enough. There was not a high enough ceiling. So you're not getting the students who are at the very top, right? So they're topping out. And two, that in fact the SAT did a better job than Smarter Balanced. If you're wanting to use a standardized test, use the one that does the better job, not the one that in fact was not designed for the admissions purpose.
Got it. So what do you think should happen from here? You still want them to study, but what exactly would they be studying at this point?
Well, from my point of view, I don't think there needs to be a study. The UC actually commissioned a study. Before they got rid of the SAT and ACT, they commissioned a study asking professors to look at these tests and whether they should get rid of them. From my point of view, many of the people on that committee were test skeptics. They didn't trust tests. They looked at the evidence and they decided, no, these tests actually do help. There is a robust set of evidence showing the predictive validity of tests, again, in combination with other factors. And so the recommendation of the UC's own committee of several years ago was to keep the test. They then went ahead and got rid of the test anyway. So they already had a study done. There's not the need for another one. and the evidence hasn't changed much other than we know that not using the test is leading us to have a greater percentage of students who are less well prepared.
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand. You say a study's already been done that shows that they should keep the test, and you don't want to see another study done, and you think that they should reinstate the test.
Yes,
okay.
I think that would be the way to go.
All right.
Yes.
Professor Worrell, I know this is not the end of this, though, because they do plan to move forward with some kind of study. So thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll talk to you again when there's next steps in this plan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
You too.